While the NBA playoffs are in full swing, the New York Knicks offseason has begun, and rumors are heating up. On this channel, we've already analyzed several free agents that's on New York's radar, and today we're going to break down Norman Powell. But before we continue, if you like content like this, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you get notified when I upload another banger. Now let's get started. Norman Powell is a player that's been a solid bench player for Toronto for most of his career, but he had a breakout year this season. On January 22nd, the Raptors made Norman Powell a starter, and he dominated once he gained that opportunity. In the 27 games he played as a starter, Powell averaged 24 points per game on 44% shooting from three and 52% shooting from the field. Because of his breakout season, Powell received tons of interest on the trade market, and he ended up getting sent to the Portland Trail Blazers at the trade deadline. On Portland, his numbers did go down as he wasn't getting the same amount of shots, but he still thrived as a starter for the Blazers. In the 27 games he played on Portland, he averaged 17 points per game and fit nicely alongside Dame and CJ as a catch-and-shoot player and perimeter defender. In fact, after the Norman Powell trade, the Blazers had the highest offensive rating in the league. The addition of Powell's elite three-point shooting on an already very talented team led to the Blazers very quickly having one of the best offenses in the league. So as we could see, Powell is coming off a very good season. Now let's analyze his game to see what he brings to the table. The biggest strength of Powell is easily his three-point shooting. He was one of the best three-point shooters in the league this year, and he's a career 38% three-point shooter. He's excellent at moving without the ball and coming off screens, and he's automatic once he gets open. But he isn't just a one-dimensional catch-and-shoot player, as he's also pretty deadly as a shooter off the bounce. Many of his pull-up threes came out of the pick and roll, and he shot 41% on pull-up threes in Toronto. He's so tough to guard in these situations because he has a quick release, and he barely needs any space to get the shot off. The Knicks already were a pretty good three-point shooting team this season, but Powell's elite shooting would still be a much-needed addition. The Knicks as a team ranked 4th in the league in three-point percentage in the regular season, but in the postseason, they ranked 11th out of the 16 playoff teams, shooting it at just 34% from three. Guys like RJ Barrett and Reggie Bullock, who were 40% three-point shooters in the regular season, just simply couldn't translate that hot shooting to the playoffs. Powell, on the other hand, shot 38% from three for the Blazers in the playoffs. So without question, Powell's shooting ability would make him a big addition. The next strength of Powell we're going to talk about is his driving ability. Powell can beat defenders off the dribble very easily and score at the rim. He's got a quick first step and a really nice handle, so he's got no issue getting into the paint. On the season, Powell shot 59% within 5 feet of the basket, a very good percentage for a guard. Because Powell is such a great three-point shooter, it opens up driving lanes for him to score at the rim. Powell's ability to create his own shot would definitely bring an element that the Knicks currently don't get out of their starting two-guard. Reggie Bullock is a fine 3-and-D player, but he doesn't have any abilities off the dribble. In the playoffs, Trae Young was able to rest on defense because Bullock pretty much is only a threat to score on the catch-and-shoot three. Unlike Bullock, Powell could put pressure on the defense with his ability to score off the dribble. While Bullock was a solid starter this season, Norman Powell would clearly be an upgrade at the two-guard position. The last strength we'll talk about with Powell is his defense. Powell is a tough, physical defender. He's got great lateral quickness, and while he is small at 6'3", he's got a super long 6'11" wingspan. This allows him to guard shooting guards, but also to switch onto most small forwards. He's been a good defender for years in Toronto, and he also helped to improve the defense of the Blazers. In the early part of the year, the Blazers were one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and in the second half of the year, after the addition of Powell, they went from rock bottom to below average. Of course, Nurkic also played a huge role in that improvement with his rim protection, but Powell's defense on the perimeter was also a huge factor. Now let's get into some weaknesses. His first weakness is his lack of size on D. I know I just said he's a good defender, but his lack of size can limit who he can guard. He can guard most 2s and 3s, but against the bigger wing players in the league, the LeBrons, the Kawhis, he simply just lacks the size to handle those matchups. While he can play the 3 and did play the 3 on Portland, he's more ideally a 2 guard. And the last weakness that we're going to talk about is his lack of playmaking. Powell is a capable passer, but he's mainly a score-first player. On the season, he averages 1.9 assists per game to 1.3 turnovers. He will occasionally kick out on his drives, but he's mostly looking for his own shot on his drives to the hoop. For that reason, I don't think Powell is a first or a second option. Even though he averaged all-star numbers in the first half of the year, on a contender, he ideally is a third or fourth option on offense. But anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Tell me in the comments section if you want the Knicks to sign Norman Powell. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.